Welcome back. Well, yes, indeed, Mr. Fashola, SAN, joins us now. He's the Minister for Works, Power, and Housing. Power, Works, and Housing. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Well, let's start off with the budget issues, because I mean that's central to a lot of things being delivered. You're a member of the economic management team, and many just keep wondering what's going on with the budget.
Well, it's regrettable. That's the way I put it personally, that we haven't solved this out. But I think that the best way to perhaps explain this is that when you have a largely new team getting to know each other, there are a lot of newly elected parliamentarians, new executive, and perhaps let's just make it basic. Even in a football team, you assemble 11 people together, you have what the coaches call, they need to blend and all of that. And I think this will pass. The highest levels of the executive and the highest levels of the legislature are meeting to work out the gray areas, and the areas about who should do what really and all of that. And they are symbolic of the emerging democratic culture that we have imbibed. People wanting to be involved everywhere, and perhaps potentially, as they say, many more cooks can perhaps make the broth difficult to deliver.
So is that meeting between the executive and the legislature going to happen this month?
No, it's happening. It's happening. It's a continuous engagement, and quite a lot of it have been reported. Sometimes it's led by the vice president, sometimes led by the president himself, sometimes it's led by the Minister of Budget and National Planning, meeting with Appropriation Committee. So those engagements are taking place, but we just can't wait to get going. We've lost a lot of dry weather, especially in my ministry, where we need really to ramp up work. And it's also important that all of us must reinforce the importance of the budget as the article of faith of government, and its importance in the lives of the ordinary people. Without it, government can't spend money. And so it's important not only that we get it right, we get it out on time. And I hope that this will be the last time that this would happen. And I think, as I said, as the team blends, people realize the limitations of their roles, who should do what and who shouldn't do what, and the expectation also of the public. Because some of these issues come from constituency projects and all of those kind of things, because people expect the legislators to build rules. Legislators are not elected to build rules. And I say this only advisedly and for the public, because I don't want to say anything that potentially may jeopardize the rapprochement that is going on. But there's that problem there.
Just let me come in. Sorry to cut you there, but I don't think that people will see it that way, because most Nigerians are already asking the question, can the government play catch-up? We're almost in the month of May. By next week, we're in the month of May. That's 5 months or so, 4 months gone down the line. And some of these issues, that all this pop up. Once we have had a program on this constituency projects, and if that is what is also bringing some form of issues, you've been a governor and you know what the constituents really want. And for the legislators, if they think that this is one solved issue that they must talk about when it has to do with the budget, shouldn't we also give them a listening ear? Tell us this constituency project. While you were governor, what were your maybe lawmakers at the National Assembly in your state doing concerning constituency projects?
No, thank you. I think the point to make first is that there is nowhere where constituency projects is written into the Constitution. Let's be clear about that. Let us also understand that the responsibility for formulating developmental policies essentially rests with the executive. That is why the Constitution says the executive will present the estimates for appropriation. But having said that, let us also understand that I call the Parliament the House of Democracy. That's where the people's representatives largely are in. And I understand the disposition of parliamentarians to want to influence projects into their constituency. Now, talking about my experience as governor, some of the things that happened, I remember particularly in Ifakojaye, somehow we missed out one constituency, and most of the projects were in constituency 1, I think. And the member came to me after budget had been passed, that there was nothing for his concern. I said, look, listen, give me the list of those projects. In the event, there were roads that were state roads. And I said to him, in the next appropriation year, we will deal with them, which was what we did. So we balanced what we omitted in Constituency 2 the following year. Now that's quite different sometimes also. Let us understand that in the Constitution, there are 3 levels of government: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. So my advice really is that if we play by the strict rules of the Constitution, constituency projects at federal level, seems to me, in my humble view, should be limited to those things that the federal government has responsibilities for: federal highways, railways, federal hospitals, federal universities, federal colleges, and those kind of things, so that it may then be appropriate for a constituent project to say, look, this road, why doesn't it pass through my constituency? It's a federal highway. But some of the things that we have seen, and I say this only for the purpose of shedding light on this, is that constituency projects go to town hall, constructing town halls or primary health care centers. Those are local government responsibilities. And so, if we're dealing with that at the federal level, are we not in fact encroaching? Because there are constituent representatives too at the local government, councillors, and then where is the constituency of the state? Are we not encroaching as well? So that's the context in which I think it's an evolving process, and I believe that it can be solved out. And then in the context of the fact that things had to happen very quickly, perhaps it took away the time for the kind of consultations that I had with my parliamentarian, so that it would have been an input into the budget. And I hope that against 2017, these kind of things will be easier to deal with.